Today we're covering 7th grade, Chapter 7, Lesson 4, Solve and Write Two-Step Equations. And if you have a textbook, this is page 533. Just like the one-step equations, we're going to be working backwards, or we're going to be doing the inverse, the opposite. That includes the order of operations. GEMDAS or PEMDAS is going to be backwards. We're going to do the subtraction and addition first, and then undo the dividing and multiplying. So, two-step equations have two separate math operations. For example, this problem right here to the right has multiplication and addition. So there's two steps in it. And this over here on the right, this little picture is representing the equation. The long strips represent the variables. So there's 2x's plus 3 equals 9. So you might see that again. Know that the long ones represent the variables. So let's start undoing. Since we do addition or subtraction first, we're going to do the opposite of adding 3, or you can think of it like a positive 3. So the opposite of positive 3 is negative 3, and I have to do negative 3 to both sides. And it's important that you work straight down with these equations, keeping the equal sign right there in the middle. The 3's, since they're opposites, they cancel. And so the 2x is all by itself. And then 9 minus 3 makes 6. And then next to the variable is 2. So that means 2 times x. And the opposite of times 2 is divide by 2. So we're dividing by 2 on both sides. And when you divide by 2 on the left, the 2's cancel, and x is by himself. Again, the equal sign comes straight down, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the solution is x equals 3. Let's try another example, this time with subtraction. There's my equal sign, and remember, whatever I do on the left side of that equal sign, I have to do on the right side. We're doing everything backwards, so we do subtraction first, undo the subtraction. So the opposite of minus 7 or negative 7, think of it like negative 7. The opposite would be positive 7. And since negative 7 and positive 7 are opposites, they will cancel. And the only thing that comes down is negative 2 times y, and the equal sign comes straight down. And 3 and a positive 7 make 10. And then the last thing to undo is the multiplication. So the opposite of multiplying by negative 2 is dividing by negative 2 on both sides. Don't forget the negative sign. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 would make positive 1, and 1y is the same as just y. And 10 divided by negative 2 makes negative 5. So the solution is y equals negative 5. Let's try one more example, this time with a fraction. So our coefficient is a fraction, a rational number. Okay, again, remember, whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So we start with the adding first. So the opposite of adding a positive 4 is subtracting subtracting a 4. Positive 4 and negative 4 cancel. And 1/5 times r comes straight down. And the equal sign came straight down. And negative 1 and a negative 4 make negative 5. They're both negative, so we just combine them. Remember, same signs, add and keep. Okay, and then we have 1/5 times r. So the opposite of multiplying by 1/5 is dividing by 1/5. But when we divide by fractions, we have to do keep, change, flip. So I'm going to change to multiplication and take the reciprocal, 5/1. So on this side, times 5/1. The 5's cancel, the 1's cancel. Now r is all by himself. The equal sign comes straight down. And I want to put a 1 under him. So negative 5 times positive 5 makes negative 25/1, which is just negative 25. Please look that all of these I worked straight down. I kept the equal sign straight. Whatever I did on the left side, I did on the right side. Please practice these steps because this is preparing you for algebra. Let's try another one. And I'm mainly looking at the model and just seeing that you understand the long strips are x's. So that's 1x, 2x, 3 x's. Plus, then you count the little individual dots. There's 15 equals, and count the little dots on the other side. 18. And we're not going to bother solving with it. Let's look at the work you're supposed to be doing. Let's look at number 3. So, first, we're doing everything backwards. PEMDAS, GEMDAS. We're going to do it that way instead. So the subtraction and addition have to be undone first. So it's plus a negative 8. The opposite of that would be a positive 8. So positive 8 to both sides, which makes those cancel. And the 8g comes straight down, and the equal sign comes straight down. And 56 plus 8 makes 64. And then we have 8 times g, and the opposite of 8 times g is 8 divided by 8. And do that on both sides. The 8's cancel. G comes straight down. 64 divided by 8 makes 8. You also have a word problem. It costs $12 for a bucket of popcorn at the Theater Movie Grill. A ticket costs $3 each. How many students can your teacher take to the theater with only $30 to spend if she gets one bucket of popcorn? So she can only spend $30. That means it has to equal $30. It also says she's getting one bucket of popcorn, which is $12. And then we're adding the $3 for each ticket. Do we know how many tickets? No. So plus 3 times the variable, which they said was n. And the last, number 6, you have to solve for n. And you would undo the 12 first and then divide by 3. Please practice those steps and make sure that you're writing it straight down.